Hi there, everyone. It's the Nature Guy again, and we're back today, this week, to talk about another species of tanager. Now, this one has an interesting name. It's very descriptive. It's called the blue and gold tanager. That's its name, blue and gold tanager. And they're very beautiful birds. They're very sleek. They almost look like they're made of wax. And bright red eyes that stare at you. They're really cool bird. Now, like the other tanagers we've talked about, these guys love fruit and insects, and they'll mix with other flocks, other species in a flock. And at the same place where we saw last week's speckled tanager, we saw this blue and gold tanager. In fact, several of them. They like to kind of hang out in family groups. Now, what's interesting about this tanager is that this is what is called an endemic species. So what do I mean by that? That means they're found in only one area. Now they're nearly threatened, so there's not a lot of them, and they're only found in one region. And this region is certain parts of Costa Rica and Panama, which is the country next door. So this is the only part of Central America where you see that, and so we refer to that as endemic. Now, these particular birds are interesting that this is the only known place, from what I'm told by other birders down there, it's the only feeder that the blue and gold tanagers come to. There's no, with all the other feeders in Costa Rica, and this is the only one that has blue and gold tanagers. So we were really pleased to see them. Now, these birds nest about 10 or 15 feet up in the tree. They have a little cup-shaped nest, and the eggs are white with little reddish spots in it. Red light is very interesting in the deep shadows of the jungle. Many things have a red color because so much is that reddish brown, dead leaves and debris. So the eggs are a little camouflaged that way. Now, they like to nest in the rainy season. And guess what? It rains in the rainy season. We got a little taste of that in this last trip. It was just sort of the end of the rainy season. It hadn't quite ended yet. And it just rains on and off. Not a real hard downpour a lot of times. Sometimes it's just a little mist, but other times it really, really rains. But that's what grows the fruit, and these are fruit eaters. And of course, they also eat insects that buzz around the fruit. And so they get both really easily. Now, the blue and gold tanagers like to live at higher elevations, about 2,000 feet and higher, not to the very tops of the highest mountains, but they like that thick tropical rainforest habitat. They like to areas where there's really a lot of moss and epiphytes. Epiphytes are those plants that grow on other plants. And so where it's really thick, and they make their nests hidden away in this real thick vegetation. They also like to, they have a really high-pitched, almost metallic sound, and they'll use that a lot to communicate amongst themselves, and even with members of the flock that may be other species. They kind of chirp and chatter back and forth, discussing where the good food is. And also watching for predators. They have some sharp alarm calls that will tell everybody in the flock that, hey, there's something wrong, let's get out of here. Now, they don't really migrate. Like I said, they're endemic. They live in this small area of Central America, but they will move with the fruiting season. And that usually means up and down the mountains. So when the fruits start at the lower elevations and then the fruits mature as you go up, the birds will follow the fruiting trees and sort of move around a little bit, but not migrating, say, to another country or so forth, like we're used to here with our migrating birds. So what's the lesson we can learn from these beautiful blue and gold tanagers? Well, you don't find them everywhere in the world, okay? They've got one little spot where you find them. And God has given each of us our spot, our area of influence. Some of us, maybe it's a much bigger audience that we get to interact with, but most of us have our little spot. I have my spot here at Campus Oval. You have your spot at home or at school or at work. But in that spot, in that area where you spend your time, that's where you can have your positive influence. Share God's love to those around you. Well, that's our lesson for today. We'll see you next time for one more tanager. Bye now.